One of the most favorite things for me in this world is being around fellow creatives, especially actors. The discussions we have, conversations, or just things that we whisper to ourselves, whether it's backstage or behind the scenes, those are some of the best conversations that I have ever had. And today we finally have a platform for actors. This is a Kenya Actors Guild initiative, a podcast dedicated for the Kenyan actor. Whether you are an aspiring actor, an experienced one, or someone who's working in the space, this is your community built specifically for you. My name is Brian Ogola, and this is Cast on Cue. Today's episode is going to be special, or at least we hope that it will. We are going to try and connect the past to the present. Because we're not just going to be talking about acting, we are going to be talking about where it all began. And I am joined by three incredible storytellers, each of whom carries a different part of our industry's history in their work and their experiences. And straight to the introductions. To my immediate left, I have Mugambi Nthiga, close friend,
yes,
mentor, someone I look up to very much. Mugambi is an actor, writer, director on stage and screen. His career started in Nairobi's theater in early 2000s. After postgraduate studies in the US, he joined Philadelphia's theater scene, performing in original and adapted works. Returning to Kenya, he appeared in internationally renowned films like Nairobi Half-Life and Stories of Our Lives. In 2010, he co-created the musical TV series Groove Theory and co-wrote the films Katikati, Supermodo, and his directorial film debut, Lusala. Mugambi has also been involved in theater productions, including and not limited to Too Early for Birds, Mboya, the Manic Monologues, performing solo performance play, Every Brilliant Thing. Mugambi is executive producer of the youth drama series Tuki, and a member of the Kenya's premier improv group, Because You Said So. Oof, that's definitely a favorite. Most recently, he co-wrote and directed Free Me, which was a brilliant production. Good job, Gadhoni Kimuyu. Oh my goodness. Anyways, yes, welcome, Mugambi.
Thank you.
Yes, please say something for the fans.
Mpenzi mtazamaji. Yes, mpenzi mtazamaji. I was looking at the wrong camera. Mm-hmm. Welcome to the show. I'm really happy to be here. Happy to have this conversation.
Welcome, Mugambi.
Yeah.
Next up, Kini Wakini, a dynamic Kenyan actor and multidisciplinary creative whose work spans films, television, and voice performance, with roles in acclaimed productions such as Igiza, Majuto, for which she earned a Best Lead Actress nomination, Confront, Monica, and national TVCs. She brings emotional depth, precision, and natural screen presence to every character that she takes on. Kini is a very versatile creative in this space, and we are honored to have her here. Thank you so much for being here. Please, say something.
Thank you, Brian. I'm glad to be here.
Yeah?
Yes.
All right.
And it's Kene wa Kene. You people keep on pronouncing my name wrong. Kene.
Kene. Kene.
Thank you.
Sorry?
Kene wa Kene.
Kene wa Kene.
Say it?
Kene.
Yes.
Kene.
Finally.
There you go. Kene.
Yo, so I've known Kene a long time. It's just blowing my mind when you said she was on the Giza. I was like, no, she was.
She was.
Then you realize, oh, no, I remember who she was.
Exactly.
Damn.
She disappeared.
Yo, that was you.
Yes.
Damn. What? Okay.
Yeah. I kill off Kenny and bring in the characters. So,
Wonderful.
That's what's up.
And
Damn. Okay.
And last but not least, Nick Ndada, friend, colleague.
What up?
Sesh partner. Just all sorts of niceness and goodness with this guy. Nick Ndada is an actor, writer, director, radio and TV personality. He's featured in over 40 plays, winning the Jury Award for Excellence in Theatre in 2018. The same year, a movie he starred in, 18 Hours, won Best Movie in Africa at the 2018 Africa Magic Viewers' Choice Awards in Nigeria. In 2024, he took home the trophy for Best Actor in a Lead Role at the Kenya Theatre Awards. A 2-time award winner for Best Radio Presenter, he is also a recipient of the Kalasha Award for Best TV Host for his work on the Great Kenyan Bake Off. Nick is also the breakfast show host on the national broadcaster KBC English Service.
Yeah.
Welcome, Nick.
Thank you for having me. Can you believe they trust me to speak to the entire country
I still
every
don't believe it.
morning?
Every morning.
For 20 years.
What were
For
they
20
thinking?
years.
For 20 years. Oh my gosh. It's really great to be here. Cannot wait to see where this conversation leads.
Yes. Thank you so much, guys, for being here. This episode is dedicated to discussing history of acting in Kenya. We actually want to figure out, where did all of this start from? I mean, especially from an individual perspective, like what do you remember? So leading us straight to our first question. When you think back to your earliest memory of Kenyan acting, yeah? Not as performers, but just as witnesses, what moment stands out for each of you? Let's start with Kenny. Have I said it correctly?
Say it again.
Kenny.
No.
Yeah?
Nay. Kenny.
Kenny.
Nay.
You're saying
Kenny.
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 Yes.
Correct. Let's start with Kenny.
Thank you. So I think for me, my earliest memory will be Tahamaki.
Oh.
Yes. Tahamaki was the ish, truth be told.
Yeah.
I think I can still remember the song, not very well, but yeah, it was a crime drama. And back then it was not like we'll see the real ish coming to life. And I really wanted to be an actor from that time. And then there was Akina Mama Kayai back in the day, you know. And I remember when I used to tell my dad that I'll be an actor, the first thing would be like, wait, you want to be an actor? And do what? As in, really, is that really even something, you know? And that is really my earliest memory. And when, yes, we used to go places during the weekends, like carnivore and establishments, and then would find Akina Mama Kayai and along as these guys who used to have really huge tummies. What are they? What are
Maroon
they called?
Commandos?
No. They used to dance. Zangalewa, yes. Because those are also performers and they would do skits, so they were also actors. And they would come and pick us when we were just seated having drinks and food and whatnot, and then we'll dance with them and they'll give us maybe like a small role to act with them. It was amazing. Yes. They were very inclusive, especially for us children. So yes, that's my earliest memory.
Mugambi, what moment stands out?
I have to talk about it on like every front. On TV, because we had just the 2 stations, and when I was much younger, just the 1 station, KBC, which started at 4 p.m. No, 5. There was a time it started at 5 p.m.
Yeah.
And then they played cartoons. Sometimes they had like Shakespeare and stuff. And then after the news at 7:30, because the Kiswahili broadcast at 7, English broadcast at 9. And news was half an hour. I don't know what this shit we're doing of having news for 1 hour.
There's
and inviting,
a lot.
we trusted the news because, like really it was just the news. And of course it started with the Moi and...
First 15 minutes.
Yeah. and every news broadcast started with Tukufu Rais, Daniel Toroi, teacher of Moi, Leo, Alizuru, to continue. But after that you had the shows that she had mentioned. And I cannot overstate the importance of a national broadcaster. KBC, where Nick is working now.
Shout outs to KBC.
Yeah, because the national broadcaster actually presents social issues addresses social issues. People don't know this, but Vioja Mahakamani existed as a legal sensitization show. As much as it was presented in the form of comedy,
I didn't know that.
it was actually supposed to sensitize people. It was a show that was supposed to uphold the law somehow, because you could see people on screen that had broken the law and then were being thrown in jail.
And get to know your rights as well.
Yeah, get to know your rights. A show like Vituko taught like
Social justice.
Yeah, it was social justice, but more like social behavior. Yeah, so drunkenness, utapeli, all of those things, they addressed them there. Raising your kids badly, all of that. So that's the stuff we're raised on. And of course, the most popular ones were Vioja Mahakamani and Vitimbi. So just like how we'd go every so often, we'd go to the Shade Hotel, where the Vitimbi cast was on residency, I guess you can call it that. Every Sunday they would be performing at the Shade Hotel. And both Shade Hotel was big time. We dress up. Like I remember dressing up in a suit that I'd worn at my auntie's wedding, where I was the page boy, because we were going to Shade Hotel.
Yeah.
Wow.
And Otorongongo was one of the cast members. You know, we had, of course, Ojwang Mamakayai, we had Masaku, we had Otorongongo, Ondek Nyuka Kwota. Yeah, like these guys are our heroes, man.
Yes.
So Otorongongo said, hey, kijana unakaa smart sana. Boss, my day was made. Made. Tama bin Tama. How do I forget Tama bin Tama? Titi. He that was Tama bin Tama. Titi. Like he literally censor his last two names. I mean, that was the stuff he grew up on. So meeting these guys was amazing. But I remember now crossing to the other side when we would have these guys in the newspapers that we saw, and there they had the more highbrow theater. So crossing over from TV into theater, and Phoenix featured in the newspapers all the time. And we knew that Phoenix theaters was for rich people. So my mom and dad one day saved up enough money, or a friend treated them to tickets. I think tickets back then were over they were 500 bob or something. We're talking the 90s.
Yeah.
That's a lot of money. And they went to the member and came back with a playbill for a play. And my parents were buzzing. Like they were so excited because they'd been to the theater. And I remember I kept that playbill. And my parents, I was like, this is what theater does to people. I'm sure my parents had sex that night. Like they were like young people. Like they were young people. Like they were buzzing. And I was like, this is the power of theater. I want to be doing that stuff.
Yeah.
I don't only want to be watching it, I want to be on stage. And so that playbill became something quite precious.
Yeah.
In the magazine rack, where you kept all the magazines, Weekly Review, Step, Drum, we kept the playbill there because now it formed part of the important literature of the house. Yeah.
Wow.
That's history.
That's a nice context. It definitely gives a very different hue to even what I thought, like our history was. Nick.
Yeah.
First up, I just realized my parents didn't love me enough to take me to Shade Hotel because they used to go. They used to go. They didn't go with you.
So they left you behind.
Yeah.
What? Wonder why.
It's wow.
They had a whole program for kids. Don't she's talking about? We had a kids parade.
I knew.
We had a kids dancing competition.
I remember weekends and my mom was like, we're going to Shade Hotel. Keep yourself busy. Do something, child. I'm like, okay, mother, I shall sit. So I would sit and talk to, there's no way of saying this thing without making it sound weird, but my best friend when I was growing up was this small piece of soap. It was a bar of soap, like, when it's almost done and before you throw it, so I took it.
This was your best friend.
This was my best friend. I didn't have friends growing up. Go figure.
Soap.
A bar of soap, and I would place it, and every day I would talk to it. I would tell it stories like, today in school, blah, blah, blah happened. I think this thing that I watched, the one, because I remember I used to tell my piece of soap a lot about Tahamaki, not so much. The only thing I used to remember about Tahamaki was Kingdom Mundo, Kingdom Mundo, Kingdom Mundo, Kingdom Mundo. Which I thought that stuff used to really bring the suspense.
Yeah.
But I remember Tausi.
Yeah.
And I remember Tausi because of one scene. I forget her name. I know they're both passed on. Rukia? I don't know. But I just remember this line she said. She had just moved into campus. So she's got her dorm room and her hostel, and she thinks that her roommate will be a guy. So she hears a knock on the door, and then she spread her legs and was like, "Come in, lover boy." And then that other lady who was so amazing walked in, and then the scene just diffused. It went from, I was so excited to, what the F? And then they have this argument. And then later on, as the show progressed, for anyone who watched Tausi, they became very close friends. And for me, I liked the reaction. I was like, you can go from being this happy to what the f? And I was like, I wonder if I could do that. And then I watched a musical called Grease. That is what changed everything for me, because I watched Grease and I said, I know I can do that. I had no singing background. That was the first musical I ever watched anyway. But I watched it and I was like, I think I can do that. And then I told my brother, who crushed my confidence, I love you, Ziza. You're the best brother, because my brother told me when I told him, I think I can do acting. And he said, dude, you are the shyest, most reserved person. Your best friend is a piece of soap. You think you can stand in front of people and entertain them? Don't waste your time. Then I said, cool, I won't. And then the next day I joined the drama club. And then I got a lead role. And then I won an award. And look at me now. But shout out to Ziza. Such a cool guy.
I have to ask a question. That soap had to have been Imperial Leather.
It was Imperial Leather.
It had to be. Imperial Leather is one that lasted down to that
like
piece of paper.
You would use it until it's a chiclet.
Until it was like a chiclet.
Oh man, that's old school. Woo, woo. A chiclet.
Then again, we're talking about history. So.
And the other question I had was, I'm betting, did you watch Grease at St. Mary's? Was that where it was?
Actually, no. So the Grease I watched was actually the film, the John Travolta,
really?
Olivia Newton-John.
Okay.
It was during its 20th anniversary, so this was 1996. And then it came on the TV, and Summer Loving, Grease Lightning, and I was like, this is so cool. Never watched a musical, never knew what a musical was, but I was like, I can do this. And the best thing in my life, because that's what got me into acting, in 2017, I got to act in the musical Grease. On stage.
I remember
playing my favorite character.
Full circle.
Wow.
Full circle. That's beautiful. I have to also mention there was a show called Tushauriane when you said Tausi. And the song would go, Enzangu Tushauriane, Maishani Mwetu. And it was like, and the most famous characters in it, there was a guy called Joe, a guy called Dennis, and a lady called Esther. Everyone remembered Esther. Esther was the darling of the country. Joe was played by a gentleman called Dennis Cachero, I think, who became a media mogul, and then I don't know where he went. And then Dennis was played by a gentleman called Tony Msalame.
Yes.
Tony Msalame went on to become a radio presenter on KBC, and then started an FM station in the coast called Sheki Legi. And if you know the Msalame name, the Msalame that you're probably thinking about is his daughter.
That's a daughter.
Yes.
It's a daughter.
All right.
So crazy times. I don't know what happened to Esther. Esther was everyone's crush.
That's such a nice fact. And from what all of you are sharing, I don't know, it sounds like the audience back then was so different. Because I find myself in a time where tuko kwa space where it's almost become redundant, where we're just like, we need to improve the culture around film and theater spaces. But it sounds like it existed for a time in the past. Would you say the audience has changed? Kini, I would like to hear from you. Kene.
Yeah.
Wow.
Sorry.
Think of an E at the end of an
Hello, man. We can cut him some slack.
Yes. I would like to hear from you. Do you think the audience has changed? And if so, what do you think the change has been? Do you think the film culture has grown, or do you think it has diminished, and why?
So film culture has always been there in Kenya. My dad did Shakespeare when he was in high school.
Damn.
I know, he still recites, he still goes over his lines to date.
Wow.
I know.
Shakespeare's
We'll
timeless.
just be seated and he'll be like, when I was in Form 5 and we did Macbeth. And then now he starts. It's something else, yeah? And he used to tell me, he still does, when he finished high school and then now he came to campus in Nairobi, he'd go to like discos. Yes.
Discotheque.
Yes, discotheques. And then he'd go catch a movie.
Wow.
Yes, he'd go catch a movie.
Wow.
With the ladies, of course.
Wow.
With the ladies, of course. And then he'd also go to Kenya National Theatre if there was a play.
Wow.
Yeah,
that was a cultured dude.
Yeah.
He still is. He still is.
Okay.
In as much as I used to tell him that I want to be an actor, and he would just look at me like, "Are you mad? Are you serious?" He's still, even now, he keeps on telling me that for the projects that I've produced, he sits me down and tells me, can we alter the script kidogo? Can we do this? Can we? When we have a script, even if it's not mine, maybe I've been hired to either be an actor or a producer or a director. I will show him my scripts because he really, really likes it, and he'll go through them. Yeah, even to date, he still does that, and he's very, very interested in that. So the film culture has always been there. And he used to tell me that they would line up with popcorns and soda, dispensed soda, waiting for the film at the foyer, standing,
Damn.
Wow.
and they would be at Cameo.
Yes.
Yes.
Cameo.
Yes.
Not just a stage.
Yeah, and he would be there with the ladies and the guy friends, and they would sit there and watch the film till the end, to the credits, and then now stand and discuss about it a bit, and then now they leave.
Wow.
So it's always been there. And then flash forward to I was 2012, 2013, I was the IMAX producer. Oh God, I was the IMAX events manager, sales and marketing, and PR. And the biggest hurdle at the time was the movie culture is dead in Kenya.
Why do you think that is so?
Well, I think TV, because at the time TV was really big at the time. Social media not so much, but TV was really, really big. There were so many programs happening in TV at the time. It was like a surge, so to speak. And then as millennials, we preferred drinking, truth be told.
I mean, it's true, but okay,
Yes.
please finish the
Let me finish. But what actually happened was that it wasn't really per se dead. It's just that people did not have like a sense of belonging, because the moment that I joined and then I changed the sort of kind of movie culture in terms of bringing in red carpets and bringing in actors, I think, yeah.
That's where we met.
That's where we met.
Yeah.
I used to invite you to my events a lot, yeah?
Yep.
And people would flood, the theater. So even today, I don't think the people keep on saying that we've changed or so. I think the problem is there's so much distraction coming in. There's a lot of social media. There's a lot of TikTok. There's a lot of YouTube. There's a lot of, there's so much, there's a lot that we are consuming all at once that makes us be very sort of hyper and not really concentrate on one thing. Because a while back, like he said, we had 2 stations, basically one. It was, our concentration was there.
Yeah.
Now, how many stations do we have?
Yeah.
We have social media. I don't like saying this, but I don't even have a TV in my house. I hardly watch TV. But then again, I'm always connected to the internet, because there's so much going on. So really, the culture, we still have it. The problem is that we are consuming too much and we are unable to focus through one thing. Because the moment that you're watching a film, you always have your phone at hand. So you'll watch the film, it will be on the background really, and then now you'll be on your phone for the better part of it. You're either chatting or you're on TikTok, something pops up or something of the sort. Yeah. So I think it's just basically concentration, and there's just too much information coming in.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, Nick, based on all the things you saw growing up and just being a practitioner in the space, which moment or which production would you say shifted the industry? Like a turning point for Kenyan film or stage or just artistic performances in general? Is there anything in particular that you remember that you can say, okay, that was definitely a shift?
I do remember in 2003, 2004, 2005, in the theater space, the hype was around doing comedies. And there was this group called Heartstrings who they were really, really good at doing comedies, specifically farces. And I remember in 2005 when I joined Phoenix Players, a lot, maybe because I used to do plays every month. So in a year, Phoenix Players could stage easily 12 plays. I know like 4 to 5 of them were always farces because I guess the idea was people just want to see funny stuff. People don't want to go and think and be given something provocative. So for theater spaces, I remember the thing became do a comedy. And then like when it got to like 2008, it started becoming do bedroom farces because Kenyans love bedroom matters. We don't like to admit it, but it's all we think about. Yeah. We literally have a radio show, My Competition. But you know what he does. So yeah, for theater, I remember it was around 2004, 2005. It became more of let's do comedies. Those will fill. Heartstrings always full house. Yeah. I remember we'd do plays that are not comedy, like do something super dramatic at Phoenix. We'd have like half. And that's if we're lucky, you know? So for that, it became a whole thing for comedy. I think people are trying to do that for film. Not that we don't have dramatic films because we'll have the Nairobi Half-Lives, we'll have the Supermodels, but I always feel like there is this inclination that we keep on trying to go to for comedy because we feel it's safe. If you can make me laugh, I will buy the ticket. I will watch the movie. But if you give me a dramatic performance that'll make me think and question my life, then I'm like, no, we don't do that here. So yeah.
All right.
Can I jump on that question?
Yeah.
Because I have 3 actually. The first one was a play called Betrayal in the City by Francis Imbuga. My mom was an English teacher. She taught English and English literature, and of course plays fell within that. So she was quite familiar with Shakespeare, although he never really found its way into our house. They were quite excited about this new wave of Kenyan literature that was coming out. But Betrayal in the City is all the way from 1976. I was just checking right now. And there was a time it was being put up on stage. And I remember, I don't know who put money into it, but they were advertising on TV. They put a literal trailer for the play on TV. So they had the actors who were doing the play now in situ, not on stage. So if on stage they're on a street, they went and shot them on a real street.
Wow.
And had excerpts of the play on TV. And it became quite a thing. Everyone was talking about, have you gone to watch Betrayal in the City? Oh, my mom or my dad said no, but they're going to watch it. I mean, parents or people are going to watch this thing. It was quite something. The second one was a Kenyan play called Changing Generations. Changing Generations actually performed a lot by mostly Phoenix actors. So I can mention for sure we had Ian Bogoa, we had Charles Kiare.
Charles Kiare.
Yes. And if you want a good laugh, just go type in on YouTube, Changing Generations, Kenyan play. So it was a Kenyan play that was performed on the Phoenix stage, but then was adapted into a film. That played on TV on KTN.
What?
And it was a musical.
And it's still available online.
There's one scene where in a last stab to save Phoenix, I think they put it back on. They brought it back, and to let people know that this play actually existed sometime back in the 90s, they had Ian and his co-star, who I can't remember, in t-shirts and jeans because that's what was cool in the 90s. And they're doing a rap.
Wow.
They're rapping. So if you want to watch Ian Bogo, you've seen that video. Yes.
Wait, I know that video.
Yes. So the context for that video
Yeah.
was that it was part of this musical called Changing Generations that aired on Kenyan television. And it was quite something. I remember that and I was like, this is the thing that I want to do. I even remember the music because they played trailers incessantly. We would be sitting and we're, come on everybody, let's all dance. Come on everybody, now's your chance. Come on everybody, do your thing. Come on everybody, let's all sing. That was a song on Changing Generations that I remember from childhood because they played that trailer over and over again.
Wow.
Yeah, it was quite so this whole theater film crossover thing was happening back then. If there's anything I want the viewers to know, it's that innovation is not new. And the innovation of trying to get audiences and trying to share they call it content now, but and I have feelings about that word.
We all do.
Yeah. But whether it's literature, whether it's theater and film, there was crossover happening between those.
Yeah.
And the last memory I remember was watching. The reason why I asked about St. Mary's was because I remember watching Joseph and the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat at St. Mary's in my first year of high school. This is in the mid-90s. And I could not believe what I was seeing. I could not believe it. I'd never seen anything like that. There was an orchestra. They had the lead actor when he has that big coat at the end when they're singing that "Give Me My Colored Coat" was standing on a platform that they raised. They raised. Were you at that play? Oh my God, yes. So one of the crew members just get grilled. I thought he's, yeah, but that play was mind blowing. When they were bringing the Ishmaelites to take David away, they were on motorcycles. They were a biker gang.
Wow.
And the motorcycles came down the aisle
What?
to pick Joseph and take him away into slavery. I'm telling you, that stuff was blowing my mind so much.
Right.
I was like, this is it. What life have I been living up until now? If I've not seen orchestras, I've not seen live music, I've not seen live singing. What on earth is this? At the end of the play, they had him on a little platform that they could raise. And they had a long robe because, at the end.
What year was this?
1995.
95.
Damn.
1995.
That's 30 years
and he had a robe. Did you have to say that? Did you have to say?
Finish this.
Did you have to say that, man? It was 30 years ago. My God.
95 was a good
Oh
year.
my God. Yeah. So he had this robe that spread, and of course, from the audience we can't see, but it spread all the way back. And as he sang the last song, they kept raising the platform. So his coat he's getting higher and higher, and his coat just kept spreading out further and further. And I was like, my goodness, I'm in an alternate reality. It felt like being in 2020 in reverse. I was like, this is the world. Like, this is a new alternate reality that I'm in now that is beautiful.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Guys, oh my goodness, that just really transforms you back in time in a way that
We have a history, man.
This is Cast on Q, and we are talking about the history of acting in Kenya. When was the last time you watched a play on stage? If you're one of those rare people who has never seen one, this is your opportunity to go to YouTube as we pay the bills and check out Changing Generations. We'll be right back to finish off this conversation with our three guests.
We'll be hosting Kalasha between the 28th of April all the way to the 2nd of May. The call for submission is currently open. You have up until the 13th of February for you to have submitted your entry. All those who will be participating at Kalasha will have an avenue to access various stories that Kenya Film Commission will be presenting to you. I want to welcome you to this magnificent event.
Let's see who wins. Let's see who takes home the crown.
Before we went on a break to pay our bills, Mugambi was talking about his experiences in the space and the history. And I don't know about you guys, but I feel like Mugambi's experience was different from mine, especially in terms of energy. Because me, when I told my dad I want to become an actor, he took a pause, very dramatic. And then he retorted, "Wait, you want to be a clown?"
What?
So it was never as Mugambi, because the way Mugambi talks about it right now, it seems so magical. Like, oh my gosh, guys were going to theater spaces and they were all so cultured. So I guess from your perspective, Mugash, do you think the energy has shifted, like from your early days to what's currently happening, and how has it shifted?
I attended a friend's wedding and I was emceeing. A shout out to George and Rere. And one of the bride's uncles came to me and said, good job emceeing. I know you're an actor. So I would like someone to mentor my kids so that they can get into the acting because they're very interested in it. And, if someone can talk to them about it, that'll be good. This was many years ago. This was more than 10 years ago. And I was like, I think we have now reached a shift because my parents weren't very eager about me acting. In fact, just like your
my
parents.
dad. Yeah.
They know the art.
Yes.
They appreciate it,
Yeah.
but they're not very
true.
excited about one of their progeny getting into it because they know it's difficult, or maybe they knew something about the actors and the caliber of character of people who got into the scene. But that has changed. It's something that people want to get the parents want to get their kids into. The reasons behind them might not be for the art or for the fulfillment. It might be for the fame or for the prestige. But
Or
I
to
know
pass time.
or to pass time because you don't want them on their phones all the time on Roblox or whatever. But yeah, I think we have hit a shift in how people perceive the industry. I'm not saying everyone is going to be happy when their kid comes to them and says, "This is what I want to do the rest of my life." But at least out there, it's not looking like it used to back then.
Yeah.
That's true. What's crazy is how, and I guess I should say to my parents, no, you do love me. You didn't take me to Shade Hotel, but they love me because when I was 16, that's when I told my parents I want to be an actor. So this is the year 2000. And I told my parents, hey, I think I want to do this acting thing. And my dad looked at me and said, okay. My mom was like, oh my God, for real? I used to act when I was in high school. I'm glad these genes have gone somewhere. And everyone saw, like, when I was done with high school, and maybe it's because I was not academically strong, but my parents told me, like, here's what we're going to do. You finish high school. Because I have a lot of relatives in the States, different places in America. So they're like, okay, we're going to sign you up to one of these random universities, go to America and become an actor. Cool. I was like, yeah, but I want to do this here first. I want to act in the profession. I'd never been to KNT until the day after I finished KCSE. I literally remember it was the day, it was the day I finished KCSE, and I left school, I went home, changed from my school uniform, grabbed the certificates I'd won over high school acting drama festival stuff, and I went with them to an audition because I thought that's what you do. And then I was told, no, put that away. Just read the lines we gave you, bro. So, like, for my parents, I love that in 2000, they told their Kenyan child, okay, we believe that you want to be an actor, go forth and do it because you believe you can do it. And they gave me 1 year after high school. They said, if you can't get this acting thing done in a year, then you have to think about an alternative. And literally the day the year expired, my dad told me, okay, now I need you to go to the university, pick up a prospectus, which school can you go and do something? And that's the same day I got a call back for my first play, The Merchant of Venice.
Wow.
Shakespeare. Amazing stuff. And
Yo,
The one,
The one that was being filmed.
no, not the one that was filmed.
Because we're together.
The
in
one that was filmed that we were in was a Shakespeare, but it wasn't. No, it
It was
was.
Merchant of Venice.
Oh shit! It was.
Yeah,
it was.
yeah,
But
yeah.
that was the second time I was doing
right.
it. Yeah.
Okay.
So, but yeah, but it's true what Mugambi says. I like that nowadays a parent will be like, my kid is 16, and they won't say, "Muonyeshe hizo vitu za act," so that they just do something. So they just sit in the house. Nowadays, it's more of a. They have this gift. Let's see whether we can push it. And it's great that there's more production. So
Yeah.
it makes more financial sense even for our parents.
Yeah.
I think.
Wow. Every time I interact with Ian Bogwa, Eddie Kibani, there are certain people in the space who I think I am standing on the shoulders of. Yeah. And it would be interesting to hear from each of you, like whose contribution to the Kenyan acting history do you feel hasn't been acknowledged enough?
Oh, wow.
Like, on whose shoulders are we standing on?
Damn.
People who really deserve that recognition and acknowledgement, but they've just been forgotten in history.
Damn.
Right?
Whoa.
So many.
I
there are
think
many.
most of them actually.
Yeah.
Really, because when we start mentioning them, talk of Vitimbi actors, all of them, you know?
The Mama Kayais,
Yes.
the Mzee Ojwang.
Yes,
Yeah.
you know, all of them. Then jump to people like Raymond Ofula. Yes, we know him, but you know, he's such a big guy, and most of us have been on set with him, you know, in one way or another. And I don't feel Edimbogwa, you know.
Yeah, Edimbogwa.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
True.
it's so sad. The last time I spoke to him, he just told me, you know what, I'm done with film. It's just draining me completely. I'm just done.
But he's been on TV recently.
No, yes, but now as
Was
of
that-
this year, I think 2-3 months ago.
Oh,
He keeps on
really?
telling me he's done and then he goes back. But then now this time he was just like, you know what, it's just, he's just done. I'm just done. Yeah, he's a very good friend of mine. And such people, you know, we are actors. We have been there. And I don't know about you guys, but there has been points in time that you just look at yourself in the mirror and you say that I don't have the energy to do this anymore. And I'm done, because if I continue, then I'm going to lose myself. Because at the time you've really just lost yourself, but you're holding on to, Brian, you've done that. You're there right now, actually. Yeah, you even announced it on Facebook.
We're only months away from months later from weeks
Yes.
from the Instagram post had around the world.
Yes, and Facebook and everywhere. We saw it, and everybody was giving you, you know, heartfelt hugs and virtual hugs and, you know, all that. And it's because it takes a lot from us. And I think at some point we keep on wondering, is it going to give us back at any point? And maybe that's where we are seated, that's where we are wondering, how are Akina Mama Kayai going to be recognized? Like, is that energy going to get back to them? Are we the ones to give them back the energy? Are we the ones to give them back the, you know, the life force, so to speak? So, yeah, there's so many actors out there that have not been recognized, truth be told. I don't know how we can be able to recognize them.
Yes, so, and just as a follow-up, because
Yeah.
even from what you were saying, I recognize that our history is scattered with just broken dreams and carcasses of broken dreams. And in the context of the conversation we're having, are people being forgotten in history, even though they had major contribution to what currently is and what is not? How do we fix that? Because it just seems like, because I have nieces and cousins who are around 12, and when you ask them, do you know Mama Kayai or Mzee Ojwang? And I think it's unfortunate that, you know, they're just disappearing in time. How do you think we can remedy that?
Let me jump on that. First of all, this is going to sound very sacrilegious. I'm tired of the what can we do conversations because we have so many of them. I rather than what can we do, I now approach it from the perspective of I'm not going to be. It's not far from me being one of those people. I think as you grow older, you realize, okay, I see the road. You see the road up ahead of you that was very, very far ahead. You couldn't see it. Now you see it. I can imagine Ojwang being a 45-year-old man and what he was going through at that point. And I think there's nothing wrong with doing your work and leaving your legacy, and then going on to live a very peaceful life afterwards. And I think that is where the issue is. If and shout out to the OGs, like all the people that were on KBC. I'd mentioned them, of course, Ojwang, Mama Kayai, Masaku, Ondiek Nyuka Kwata, Thorongongo, Tama Bin Tama. A lot of these people are not alive now. And I'm referring to them by their character names, by the way. I think Ojwang was Benson Mugai. Mugai. The prosecutor, Wemze, the one who made Wemze a thing. The judge and the prosecutor. Utasimama utajitetea kutoka pande gani, pande kushoto ama kulia. I mean, we all remember all of these things. And I think about these guys a lot and wonder, did the state do right by them? Because they were working for the state. They were working for the state broadcaster, KBC. Did the state do right by them? Does it give them a home that they can retire? Does it give them what would be the equivalent of a pension? Or a salary that they can live on, like a living wage that they can continue, like a legacy wage. Is their healthcare taken care of? Are they living at peace right now? Or are they living like every other citizen for whom the spotlight has shone on them and left? You will remember that at the time, there was a time that pictures came out of Mzee Ojwang, depressed and ill. And they were posted on Twitter, and it moved people to raise money for him and gave him the last lease of life before he passed away. Would you be doing that for everyone? And it's not just for the actors. Where is, what's the name, female boxer? Congestina. Yeah, where is Congestina now? What happens to the heroes who are in the limelight? What happens when they walk away? Not just because they're in the limelight, but because of the value of the work that they did. I don't have the answer to that question. As to what we can do, I don't think it's even fair for that to be put on us as the ordinary citizens. We can agitate definitely for there to be some legislation of some sort that takes care of these people after the fact. But to answer your former question, the other people on whose shoulders I think this industry stands are names of people that we're still working with, and I'm glad that they're still around and still in the industry. People like John C.B. Okumu, Mombi Kaigwa, Washuka Mongai. Washuka Mongai was on Changing Generations. She played a mother who flew in from the country, from outside, and her biggest song was "What's the News." She's been away from Kenya so long, has been disconnected. Of course, there was no email. Back then, there was post and telephone. Telephone was bloody expensive. So she sings a song, is the water still being cut off? Do they still cut off the electricity? What color is the flower now? Is it gray, blue, or red? Because she left a country that was already pretty messed up, and she's coming to catch up. I mean, these people were such a part of our childhood. Again, I mentioned Charles Kiarie, Francis Imbuga, who wrote this play, where it's not just the actors, it's the writers as well. and then, of course, we cannot forget David Muller. David Muller was on a show called Family Affairs.
Oh, yeah.
Do you remember Family Affairs? Yes. David Muller was the dad. David Muller has been our dad all our lives. Family Affairs is a show from the 80s. It had a character, there was dad, mom, there was a lady called Riziki, a dude called Mambo. I mean, David Muller was in our homes every week. And that was an English-speaking family drama. All of them set in the studios at KBC. Tahamaki was the first one that now went outside of the studio on location. We'd never seen anything like that before. There are so many people who have been part of this industry who, unfortunately, because we're all glued to our phones and as you mentioned, as you mentioned, there's a battle for our attention.
Yeah.
That did not exist back when there was 1 or 2 stations and we had 2 FM. We had 2 radio stations and no FM. Yeah, our attention hadn't become a commodity like it is now because everyone is looking for advertisers and media is so fragmented. So while your attention is on your phone, these heroes are fading into obscurity. And I wish there was something of legacy, that this country recognized the legacy, not just of politicians, but of the people that are really doing something for this country. Y'all can bleep that afterwards. Thank you.
There's no need. I think it is apt the way it is.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Wow. Dude, Mugash, you really speak about it so well.
Thank you.
And thank you for
Passionate
sharing
about
that bit. Because we are obviously running out of time and I can't have you guys here for the rest of the day. Maybe one final question. Yeah. We'll go with the cliche one. So if you were to pass down one lesson from Kenya's acting past to this current generation, what would it be?
You can't, you will never be at that level of I am this fantastic without going through a lot of time. I always, and this is something I always tell any young actor I meet, I'm like, I've been acting for 20 years professionally. But acting, I've been doing it for 30 years. Am I good? I'm definitely very competent as compared to a number of people, but it's only because you have to do it. I approach acting the same way I approach football, because before I started acting, I used to play football. I used to be a goalkeeper in high school. So I always remember how much time was dedicated to the practice. I hate when people show up late for rehearsals. I hate when people don't show up at all for a rehearsal, because the final shot, the take that they will use in the film or the performance that you will do on stage, it will only be as good as all the work you did to train for it. So I try to emphasize this to young actors, like, don't be in a hurry, because yes, this can happen. You can get one show and it'll be a big show and everyone will love the show and you will be popular. But look at it from the point of view of, imagine you're a player. The first time you're on the pitch, you scored a goal. Cool. Do you know what every other manager is thinking? Every other coach is like, can they do that again? And they ask that because they know that you can't do it again. They're like, this was a result of excitement. This was a result of, finally, I get a chance. But if you look at it from the point of view of, anytime you get a chance to practice, that is where you build yourself. That's where you realize, I love, one of my favorite things is when I get a script, I always try to learn all the words, all my lines rather, within like the first day I have the script. And the only reason why I do that is just so that I can be like, okay, I understand what this story is about. But we have 1 month of rehearsal, we have 3 weeks of rehearsal before we shoot it. That's where the work comes in. And this is stuff that you can't rush. You really can't rush it. You just have to be patient with it. I love the fact that I've done over maybe 60 plays by now. But you know what I'm most excited about? I'm most excited about my next play, which is in like 4 months from now. I can't wait to show you what 20 years of practicing this shit has led to. It's not about, character, why, you will love it, I'll be so funny. I'm just like, no, I want you to see the work that goes into it. Something as simple as when you see actors like, by the way, shout out to Steve Murwa and Millicent Ogutu.
Oh yeah, those are
watching them on stage used to always just make, because you see little things they do. Someone sits a certain way, someone flinches a certain way. It's not in the script. This is based on someone who has read it, has understood the assignment, and they're like, okay, this is my contribution. And I see it all the time in sports, especially in football. You see it all the time. That's how you'll have a Bruno Fernandes, shout outs to Man United. That's how you see someone like Bruno Fernandes, who has been playing in this team for all these years. Yet, this guy is such a playmaker. Does he score every game? No, he does not. But does he make the team work? Absolutely. That comes with experience. So take your time with this shit. And also, if you're a 20-something-year-old actor, my friend, you have so many years ahead of you. Relax. I'm literally 40. And I feel like I haven't done even a half of the theatrical and the stage stuff and the screen stuff that I want to do. Take your time.
Kenny?
Wow.
Wait. Hey.
Okay.
Hey.
How do I even
Wow.
from that? I think from me, what I'll tell them is mind self. And by that, I mean you, by any means necessary, you come first, your mental status come first. Because without that, then the next script, the current one, the role, it's all useless.
Oh, man.
And then as actors, we tend to pick up so many roles, and then we also have so many other things that are going on in our lives, personal. Then we have the scripts, and then some actors will probably maybe have 2 or 3 roles in like a year or something, and they're continuous. And because you get so immersed into your character, then you end up picking the characteristics and the personalities of these individuals, forgetting yourself. And the moment you forget yourself, you let yourself go. 5 years down the line, nobody recognizes you, not even yourself. You look at yourself in the mirror and you'll be wondering, who is this person staring back at me? And it kills you, And that's why so many actors are into alcoholism. So many actors are into have suicidal tendencies. So many actors are into drugs, sleeping around. It's all basically you just want to read off these characters and you don't know how to. And you think at that particular moment that this is the only thing that I can be able to do. And it's not the right one, just mind self, and self comes first. Whether going to the river or, I don't know, praying, I'm not religious, but in something, going to forest, something meditating, something to ground you, something to make you remember who you are. Like, I'm Kenny. This is my personality, this is my character, this is who I am, this is what I stand for. So regardless of the role, and you see, the thing about actors is we meet for a role or whatever, for a shoot, and then we are all hyper at that particular time. Someone probably didn't even sleep well, or they've even been kicked out of their house. Right. Nobody knows, and then we are so psyched up, because we're all together. There's that vibe, there's that spirit that goes into that. But then the moment that we leave the set, you go back to yourself and you break. We've all been there. You break. So when you compile all these things, it gets to a point where you cannot hold it together anymore. The glue just breaks and you're left naked. I love using that word so much because then it leaves you vulnerable.
Absolutely.
Yes. And just take care of self. Don't, again, the fact that there's so much consumerism going on. There's TikTok, there's there's a lot. So combine that with the mental status, with the sets, with the lack of jobs, with the family drama, you lose it. And then unfortunately, our industry is a very volatile and fragile one. In all aspects, in the aspect of the fact that maintaining a job for a year continuously is a bit hard, You have tuffles with people because apparently we are too emotional for anything and everything. We are too unstable, So with all those things, you really need to be able to ascertain yourself and get to know, like, okay, fine, now this is where I am, this is the type of person that I am, and this is where and how I need to move forward. Because anyway, the moment you lose that, and you're being judged by everybody because everybody gets to see you in, the big screen, and everybody has, and you see, that's the thing, everybody has an idea, and everybody has a notion of who you are. And then you get to a point where you don't even know who you are. So my advice will be just self.
Mind self.
Yeah, mind self.
I have a question for you.
Yeah.
Do you when you introduce yourself, because I'm always very conscious of this when I have to introduce myself. I never say, hi, I'm Nick, I'm an actor. I always say, hi, I'm Nick, I act. Hi, I'm Nick, I host radio shows. Because I'm always like, that's not who you are. You became an actor somewhere along the line in your life, but you can't walk around saying, I am an actor. This is how you should identify. And no, I'm just Nick. I'm a guy who likes cats and doesn't like people. But will I get on stage with a bunch of actors and do a show? Absolutely. Because that's what I do. But it's not who I am.
Okay.
So the question?
Oh, the question was, do you introduce yourself as an actor? Do you say, I'm an actor?
No, never. I just say Kini Wakini, just that.
There you go.
Yeah, I have never introduced myself as an actor. I normally just say Kini Wakini. Then again, I do other things. So really, I just say Kini Wakini.
But yeah, but you do things, but it's not, it doesn't define who you are.
You know, a person is so much. I'm a daughter. I am a mother to a cat.
Shout outs to cats.
I'm a mother to a cat. I am so many things. I am a friend. Why would I say I'm an actor? I would equally introduce myself as, hey, I'm a friend. I'm Kenny Wakini, I'm a friend. Or I'm a daughter. Yeah.
Okay.
Cool.
Gosh.
Hey, yo, after what they've said, okay. I've had this play out so many ways in my head because as I'm thinking about how to answer that question, because that could be a whole podcast on its own. I honestly think that young people need to be listening to the OGs, but I'm not sure how well that's going. But this is what I'll say: I'll never forget the day I got a call from Ian Bogwa, and I could recognize him. I could recognize his phone, and he said, "This is Ian Bogwa from Phoenix Theatres. And we have a role for you. Come and pick your script." In the grand scheme of things, that wasn't a big deal. As Nick said, Phoenix was a repertory theatre. They had a play going on every month. So the number of actors that were passing through a Phoenix stage was dozens. So I was one of dozens. I mean, like 40, 50 people. But what made it special, truly special, was that I had come full circle to the moment my parents came home with that playbill. And as I'm going to be one of those people now. That was a special thing. So my advice actually stems from that. Here it is. Don't believe the hype. Don't believe the hype. I think you would feel that and understand what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And this is what I mean by the hype. Unfortunately, the craft of acting has been overtaken by the hype. The hype was always there, but with social media and TikTok and the fact that everything right now is so performative and is passed through a filter and is delivered in 1080p at the lowest, everything has become so hyper-realistic that even the hype has gone beyond the simplicity. It's not analog anymore. It was very analog at one point, but the hype has now gone fully digital, and we are now masked in it, and we are covered in it, and we are breathing it. It's all synthetic. It's not real. I'm sure there's actors, young actors right there, out there who might be like, yeah, I'm tired of that synthetic stuff. How well I do doesn't ought to be reflected by the number of followers or the number of likes. Not at all. That has never been a measure, and it shouldn't be, because likes are not a measure of your skill. It's a measure of how you can take this thing that has been commoditized, called attention, and manage to get it. But if you're getting the attention of people as long as their phone is in their face, I'd like to see how well you can do it in person, in an analog world, where most of our work is happening. Yeah. So I would tell people, do not believe the hype. go back to a moment. My moment again, remember, is my parents coming home from the theater, seeing the playbill. I remember watching ET and saying, that's what I want to do. I remember being 5 years old and doing a skit in primary school and being like, this is what I want to do. 5 years old. You can go back in time to the very special moments that are not touched by any algorithm, by not any voice in your head, whether it's opposing or whether it's hyping you up, and say, this is where an actor was born. Every single actor is able to do that. And if you don't have that story, that's also fine. Try and find it. Maybe you don't have it. Maybe exit stage left. That's also okay. We're not going to hold it against you at all. But there's a very human moment that precedes and will live after all the hype that you need to keep going back to. That way, you're not going to have to be seeking the validation of your peers, or you're not. We all need it, but not to the degree that we're always chasing after it. You'll always remember your North Star is. And above all, you'll remember why you're doing this. Because I can tell you there's people who have been doing this for years who probably don't know why they're doing it anymore. That is a sad life to live. It is. And just because you have the glamour to counterpoint it, as you balance the scales, the darkness will never, ever, like the hype will never, ever manage to outweigh the darkness. That darkness is always going to outweigh it. That darkness is trying to tell you something. Listen to it. Wow. Listen to it and go back to that person that wanted to do this, because the darkness is trying to reach out to them and bring everything full circle. Do it.
Face your shadow.
Yeah.
Face your shadow.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's what's up.
It's basically facing your shadow.
Yeah, but guys, thank you so much. That is, I think, one of my favorite episodes.
Nice.
Yeah.
They've only been like 2, right?
Yeah.
So we'll
Thank you so much to all of you for being here, for making the time. Just before we leave, very quickly, for the interest of time, I'm sure there's someone out there who has listened to you and they're just like, yes, I would like to listen more to this person, or at least engage with them on whatever platform. So please just go ahead and plug yourself. Where can guys find you? What kind of things are you doing on the regular? Yeah. Start with you, Mugash.
Yeah, I'm at It's Mugambi on Instagram, on TikTok and Twitter. Actually, yeah, pretty much all of those. Oh, wait, there? Okay. I'm at It's Mugambi. That's at ITS Mugambi on the social media platforms. If you want to meet in person, I host a movie night every Monday. Monday movie nights at K1. Come through for that. We're always screening something cool. And come see my stuff. Yeah.
So at Chasi Kene Wakene on Facebook and Instagram, and at Kene Wakene on TikTok. And I'm also a producer and director.
Dope. Nick Ndeda on all platforms, X, TikTok, what's the other one? Instagram. And it's Ndeda, it's not Ndenda. It's not Ndeta. It's NICKNDEDA. Nick Ndeda. You can catch me on the radio every morning, informing the nation. Writing a lot more scripts, so finally removing the scripts that I've been hiding for like 10 years from my archives. So yeah, look forward to stuff that I wrote coming out. Ooh, and actually, this is a really big announcement for me. 23 years ago, I used to be a rapper. I was in a really good rap group. We even got nominated for an award that Kina Yashinsky won. Good for them. But
That's so many layers.
this year I have recorded. How many have we done? I've done like 8 songs.
You're recording?
Yeah,
Dude.
I finally started writing music again. I've recorded some really good songs. Look out for Bottle Service in 2026.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is
dope,
crazy.
man. That
How
is
so
dope.
many layers do you?
What?
Because I have too much free time. That's what it is.
I aspire to have more free time.
Congratulations, Nick. That's really nice to hear.
Yeah.
Again, thank you so much for gracing us with your presence. We are definitely standing on the shoulders of heroes, great men and women who did this before us. And whether or not they faded off into obscurity, they still deserve to be remembered and to be cherished. As an actor, what do you want your legacy to be? As you think about it, this has been Cast on Cue, and I am your host, Brian Ogola. Thank you so much for watching.